What's up with y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. I'll be breaking down and giving you my prediction for Charles Oliveira versus Tony Ferguson. This is a great matchup. Tony comes in 24-5, fights out of California, age 36, height 5'11 and reaches 76. Charles is 29-8. I mean, he's been in the UFC for so long, like for so freaking long. He's fighting at it. I guess they're saying Houston, Texas, but I'm pretty sure he does most of his camp in Brazil. Age 31, height 5'10, and reaches 74. So Tony, he's a little taller than him, and he does have a reach advantage. That's something to look at. But yeah, man, this is a phenomenal fight. I mean, great matchmaking. I thought this was the fight to make a while back. After after Tony had lost to Justin and Charles had got his win over Kevin Lee. Just the way they were both looking, their body types, even the way they look, like they're kind of similar to each other. And I just think it's just such a great matchup. But, Tony, even though he is coming off that really bad loss to Justin Gaethje, he has, an incredible ranking. He still has a high spot in his division. He's the number 3 guy in the world. Charles, on the other hand, I don't know if they're going to change this coming up. I know Tapology has him as number 4, which is a pretty nice ranking, but in the UFC website, they have him as number 7. He's right behind Rafael dos Anjos and Dan Hooker. And I guess I don't know. I kind of get it because he lost to Paul Felder and RDA. I don't know, man. It's weird. But, if we look at what Tony has accomplished, right, he was on a 12-fight win streak, right? He was, before the Gaethje loss, he was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12. So 12. And, dude, man, this guy has accomplished, I know some guys, they criticize him for only fighting once a year at the time and thought he was a little overrated. And, I'm not going to lie, I was one of those guys. I did pick against him when he fought Justin Gaethje. I'm not going to lie to you. But I've also picked against him when he fought Pettis. Even when he fought Cerrone, man, I really thought he was going to lose that one. I didn't pick against him against Kevin Lee. But Kevin Lee really surprised me in that fight. But one thing about this guy is that his just ability to win fights. I even picked him against I might have not actually picked that fight. But his ability just to win. If we look at the Lando Venata fight, he was rocked in that fight, man. And Lando almost got him. It was a late notice replacement. He was supposed to fight Michael Chiesa, I think. And, dude, like, it was insane. Like, how he was just surviving and just spinning around and rolling, It was so weird. But he got that Darce choke in the second. Kind of, Lando does this a lot, even in the Bobby Green fight. He kind of just tires out. And he just wore on him. And he just that mentality that I will not go down. Like, that's the way he fights. Like, you have to kill me if you want to become the guy, and his fight against Rafael dos Anjos, another one where he was losing the first 2 rounds, in my humble opinion. I rewatched it and it was incredible, and he just, he started jabbing away at dos Anjos in those 3rd and 4th and 5th, and just started using his reach against him, and just really just he styled on him, man. That was an incredible fight, an incredible performance by Tony. But, like, that one was one of those things like, oh my God, this guy might be for real. Back in the day we were watching, we didn't know a lot about Tony. He had that great fight against Edson Barboza, but it's like he just was too sloppy, But, he's just one of these guys is that he's in the moment. Like, he's really good in the moment. Like, you got to give him that. And then his fight against Kevin Lee. Man, he got dropped in the first, in my humble opinion. But he did return it back to Kevin. He got mounted in the first against Kevin. Just so much momentum was going Kevin's side. And it was like, oh my God, like, is Kevin going to win this fight? And I was just really shocked how good Kevin was in that fight. It's so weird, like, Kevin is underrated sometimes, and then he might be a little overrated. So Kevin has such a weird career, but when he fought Kevin, man, and you could see it in the second round. I remember, I think it was his coaches yelling, "Look at his face! He's quitting! He's quitting! He's quitting!" And you could just see Tony's just like his warrior mentality come out, and he just put it on Kevin, and he just put that pace, that El Kukui pace, man. And he wore on Kevin, and eventually Kevin started going for more crazy high amplitude takedowns, and used a lot of strength and used a lot of energy, and he gassed himself out. And Tony got the triangle submission. It just was really, really impressive, and he got it done, man. He got it done. Like, this is the thing about him, is like, he might be in trouble in certain like moments of the fight, but he gets it done. He gets it done. And that's the great thing about Tony. And he get it against Pettis. I doubted him. I really did. I was like, you know what? He's coming off that injury, right? I was like, a lot of people are underestimating Pettis. I think Pettis can fucking knock his ass out. Pettis just submitted Michael Chiesa, I think, which is aged pretty well when you think about it right now. But since Chiesa's coming off that win over Dos Anjos, but it's like, man, and Pettis, he did, like, he didn't make me look stupid. He still lost, but man, you could just see, man, the way Ferguson just pressured him. He gave him no space at all, and obviously that's, Pettis' Achilles heel is pressure. But like, my God, the pressure he gave him was insane. Like, you don't really see a lot of people give that much pressure, because you give too much pressure, you leave yourself open, you leave certain openings to be exploited. And you can see in that second round, he was a little open for that right hand, and Pettis, fucking clinged his ass, dropped him twice, and got him good. And that was just, I mean, impressive by Pettis, and to get him like that. But but what's also more impressive is Tony's ability to recover, and his durability came in real good. And he got him out of there, and man, he just put it on him at the end of that round. Like, he even though I gave that round to Pettis, like, Tony ended it really great. He ended on a good note. So, it is what it is, and Pettis broke his hand and stopped. But and then he had fought Cerrone, and this fight, like, I also thought Cerrone was gonna win this fight, because Tony's this thing with his wife or whatever, beat up his, I don't know what happened. Someone, like, there was a 911 call, and then Tony needed to go, like, get his mind right, and it looked like he had a lot of mental issues or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, if there's ever was a time to beat Tony, I think it's now, right? And Cerrone, I thought Cerrone, it's hard. That first round was really even. I gave it to him because I'm a little biased and I picked him, so I gave it to Cerrone. Some people still might have gave it to Tony, but this second round was a wash. I think his coaches even told Tony, like, you're respecting way too much. Just go out there and just put it on him, and he did put it on him. Like, he did. And I know some people call Tony's an asshole after, like, the little after the round punch he threw at Cerrone, and it was kind of funny to see Cerrone's reaction was like that, but he got him good, man. He you could tell, like, there was a speed difference. There was a lot of things that those guys had where, like, a lot of people looked at Cerrone as like, man, he's a legitimate striker, and he's a good striker, but man, his boxing got really exposed in that fight. And I don't even think Tony has that. Like, he doesn't have really good boxing for his own right, but, like, man, like, he made Cerrone look like freaking stiff and slow. And that was really, that's when, like, the Cerrone, I feel like Cerrone's had a few downfalls. He had a few slips where he's gone on losing streaks before, but this is like the one where it really started. After this one, it led to Justin Gaethje. It led to, I think, Conor, and then even the Nico Price performance. And no matter how you look at Nico Price or whatever, I know a lot of people looked at Nico Price levels below a Donald Cerrone in terms of legacy and stuff like that. And Nico ended up getting a draw, and I felt like if Nico didn't get those eye pokes in, he probably would have won that fight. But it is what it is. But yeah, next up is Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje, I've talked about this fight a lot. He put on a performance, man. I picked him. I thought Tony, he was getting a little arrogant in terms of, like, just picking these opponents and accepting these kind of fights. I get it was for an interim title, and he had to do what he had to do, but, like, dude, man, you can't just keep doing this. You can't just keep accepting these fights and not fighting for a title. And you're gonna fight a guy like Justin Gate, a killer, a knockout artist. Like Justin was on like a, was he on a 3 fight? He was like I think a 3 or 4. He might have been a 3 fight like knockout streak, bro. Like it was like James Vick, Edson, and Cerrone. Like he was knocking everybody the fuck out. And you're gonna fight this guy now. I predicted Justin get him out there in the first round. But what Justin did to Tony, this is where this fight between Charles Oliveira becomes interesting, because you have to put into consideration the damage that Justin put on Tony. Like you really got to do, and you got to think like, can Tony come back from that? Can he? And that's a real question. And it's easy to say, yeah, he can. Tony's super tough. He's 36. He's getting older, and Justin put it on him from even round 1. And I don't care. Like I give round 2 to Tony just based on the knockdown, but he was even getting lit up in that round, right? And I get it. Some people argue this. I don't know why, that some of those hits that were thrown at Tony weren't like, they didn't really hurt him. They glanced around the shoulder and the chest, and I'm like, okay, whatever. You look at his face and you look at Justin's face. All right, you tell me who took the worst. Like Tony was getting hurt. All right, he was getting hurt. It does not matter how you look at that. He was getting hurt. All right, I don't care if you, like, I know some people had it 2-2, which is, and to me, it's insanity. I had it easy 3-1 going into the 5th, right, for Justin, and I thought Justin was going to kill that man. I thought it was, in boxing, you see these kind of fights, right? This is what it was, and thank God Herb Dean stopped that nonsense. But, he's spinning around, and you could just see it, man. The spinning around and all the the twirling and all the things he does, all the dance stuff. I think it's stupid and it's weird. But I was talking to one of my homies that loves Tony, and he explains it to me where it's like, that's how Tony survives in those situations. He'll start spinning, and he'll look for like a spinning back elbow. He did it to Anthony Pettis. If you look at that fight, Anthony was trying to come at him, and he was spinning and rolling and all that. It was almost like a defense mechanism. That's what he was trying to explain. I think it's just him being retarded, but that's just my opinion. But he was explaining that to me, and the great thing about Justin, right when Justin hurt him, he was very patient. He didn't go for the kill right away. He didn't let Tony do all his spinning bullshit. He let Tony do all that spinning bullshit by himself and look stupid, right? And it didn't touch him. And and that's it for Tony. But it is interesting what's been going on with Tony. But if you look at a guy like Charles Oliveira, on the other hand, where he's on a 5-fight win streak. No, not a 5. I think 6 or 7. Is it 7? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's on a 7-fight. Yeah, what he did to Clay Guida at Romero versus Whitaker card, 225. He just snatched in that guillotine, took him out of there. That was impressive. What he did to Jim Miller, dude. What he did to Jim Miller was super impressive, because Jim had a win over him. And then in the rematch, he made Jim look like a nobody. Yeah, he made Jim look like a nobody. He suplexed that fool and then choked his ass out. That was insane. He made it look easy. And then his fight with David Timur, he dealt with some adversity in that fight. He got dropped in the first round. You could say it was a slip, whatever you want to say. It's just your, it's your opinion. But his Muay Thai, like, that's the thing about him and Tony that's kind of cool, is that they're very similar in certain areas, but what really separates Charles from Tony is that Charles is super technical, right? In his last at least 5, he's shown real super technical Muay Thai. He's very like, tall with his stance. He doesn't have no bend in his knees, because he's not scared to get taken down, because choke your ass out, right? But like, man, that length, and that what he does with that length, adding those knees, adding those elbows against David Timur, he really that's how he got it done, was with an elbow, and then he put it on him, then snapped his head down, got the Darce choke in, and took, I think it was an anaconda choke, but yeah, he got an anaconda choke in and got him out of there. Like, that was super impressive. And then what he did to Nick Lentz was beautiful, man. I mean, that was pure Muay Thai. You see a lot of Muay Thai fights where somebody throws a body kick and then somebody responds with the cross, and that's basically what happened. I think Nick Lentz threw the lead kick, and then I think Charles caught it, and then he just hit one, fucking straight right cross down the pipe and took fucking Nick Lentz out, and that was, I think, a trilogy or something like that. A trilogy fight between Lentz and Charles. I think the first fight was an illegal knee. The second, Oliveira won, and then Oliveira won again. And that's impressive, man. And Lentz is a Henry Hoof guy. Like, he's Hard Knocks, or not Hard Knocks, Stanford MMA guy. And that was super impressive. And then another Stanford MMA guy, he knocks out Jared Gordon. That one was, super impressive. That was the highlight of that night. I remember it was like Jacare versus Blachowicz. A shit fight. And, I think Charles was the shining star of that whole entire show. And I think that's really what got him the opportunity to main event his next fight night. But what he did to Jared Gordon, he took him out of there quick. Jared Gordon is a tough guy. He's a tough scrambler. He's a tough grappler. He's a good MMA fighter, man. He's a good guy. But what he did to him, he showed that there was levels to this game. The right and then the uppercut, man, that was so vicious. The way he sat, the way Gordon sat, head against the cage, just dead almost, for a second. And I know Gordon got up real quick, but dude, man, the overhand right to uppercut combination was fucking sick, man, and that was beautiful. And then his greatest performance, in my humble opinion, Kevin Lee. I like Kevin Lee. I picked Kevin Lee in this fight. I know some people don't like Kevin Lee. I know some people think Kevin Lee's trash, and it is what it is. But what he did to Kevin Lee, man, you could even say this was more impressive than what Tony did to Kevin. That Tony fight with Kevin was competitive, right? This was, man, there were moments where this was one-sided, right? Then there was moments where you could argue, control time from Kevin Lee, right? Does that count? So Kevin won rounds, but in the stand-up, it was not competitive at all. And that's the crazy part to me, because I thought that's where Kevin would have some type of success, right? But the way Oliveira was walking him down, hitting strikes, just in the pocket, not even in range or whatever, with just putting it on him. Tony didn't even do that to Kevin. They had a competitive bout on the feet, right? A little bit, at least in the first, right? But even in the first round, Charles put it on him. He gave him nothing. Nothing at all. Now, grappling-wise, I think Kevin at least won one round, right? So you can say that. But, dude, and then, some people even tell me, I remember my boy Kendall even told me that Kevin, apparently, I guess there's this video, you can check it on YouTube, that, Kevin Lee actually knocked out Charles Oliveira, I think in the second, with a takedown. And he, I guess, overcame. I don't know if that's true. That's just speculation. But apparently overcame that. And that's even crazier, right, to even think, right? So it's insane. But, that was his greatest performance. And after that, he deserved. Obviously, he was supposed to fight Beneil Dariush, which was kind of a little unfair for him. But, what he did to Kevin Lee, getting that guillotine choked him out so bad, he thought the fight was still happening, man. My boy Kevin Lee was looking bad that day. But this is, I think, going to be a great fight. I think this is going to be a tales of two stories, man. Can Tony come back from that vicious beating, and can Oliveira overcome, Tony's pressure and kind of prove to the world that he is a title contender and that he will fight for that title one day. If Charles Oliveira's story is kind of untold to this. It's a lot of people forget about that 145 run. He had trouble. He got submitted by, I think, Anthony Pettis. Right, let me look. Yeah, he got submitted by Anthony Pettis or Carl Lamas. Got his ass beat by he had a shoulder injury, but got his ass beat by Max Holloway. He does have good wins over Jeremy Stevens, but a lot of people forget about this. He went through a rough road at 145, and he missed weight, dude, a lot, and that was another thing. But that was kind of a little humbling moment. Those two losses. But he was supposed to be the guy. He had a main event opportunity against Max Holloway. People forget about that. He was supposed to be, the guy that comes up. He even has a loss to Cerrone a while back. Frankie Edgar beat him. Cub Swanson has a win over him. Yeah, these losses have happened before. Jim Miller, yeah, but he's been in the game for so long. That's the thing about him, and that's what's interesting. But the loss that really, looks at me is the Paul Felder loss. Like the pressure that Paul Felder put on him, right, in the first, and that Paul did not give up any positions of grappling against him and just put it on him. Like he did him dirty, right? So that's something to look at. But for this fight, here's how I look at it. Charles has to prove, right? Because he fought Kevin Lee, but like beating Kevin Lee, and Charles has this history too of kind of giving up when things get hard, and Kevin Lee has this history of it. All he proved is he's less of a quitter than Kevin Lee. That's all he proved. Tony is gonna be the ultimate guy. I guess in this kind of situation, the ultimate gatekeeper to see how bad do you want it. How bad do you want it? Because he'll test you. He'll see how bad you want it. He'll put you through hell. He'll put a pace on you. He'll make you tired. You got to beat the shit out of Tony. And I don't know if Charles can do that. But Charles has a chance. I think if there ever was an opportunity to get Tony, it's probably now. This is probably going to be the first time I've ever picked Tony in my channel, but it is today. The thing is, I've just seen Charles give up a lot. I've seen him give up a lot, and I haven't seen him do it recently. I've seen it against Felder. I've seen it against Pettis. I've seen it against Ricardo Lamas. Tony is not that kind of guy to have that in you. Tony will bring a quitter out of you. I've seen him do it, man. Like he makes fucking mice out of men, man. Like it's it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I think Tony gets this done. I'm saying third round TKO. I think Tony puts the pressure on him. Like Charles they're both, one thing I noticed about Charles, he likes to go forward a lot. I don't think Charles is going to be able to do that with Tony. Tony doesn't give up no space. I think Charles is going to be on his back foot, and Charles is not a good fighter on his back foot. Even when he fought Paul Felder, on his back foot, he went for a lot of panic takedowns. Tony might sub him. I don't think Tony will, but I think Tony gets this done by third round TKO. I think he's gonna exhaust Charles, and the Bronx he's gonna have to prove something, man. Like this is like I'm still not on board on this Charles Oliveira train. Like he has to prove something, and he has to destroy Tony if he wants to prove he's a legitimate title contender or whatever. It does. The thing that favors him in this fight, though, if you are gonna pick Charles, is that it's 3 rounds. That's gonna favor him a lot, and he might be able to escape. But even if he escapes, I'm not gonna look at him any different, But it is what it is. I'm gonna be going Tony Ferguson, via third round TKO. And think about it, man. Like Tony has so much to lose. Like if he loses this, it is over. It is over for him. Like there ain't no coming back. 2 losses like this, and he's 36 years old. He needs a win. If he wants to, he needs just one win. That's really it, and he can kind of get back in that in them title talks. But I think Tony's gonna put it on Charles. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go click the notification button. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow my Twitter. Follow my Instagram at eBay Fight Predictions. Out. Love y'all and goodbye.